For 11 years, one man hid over $1 billion in losses as ghosts, not through a hack, not through a heist, but through the architecture of a lie. Not outside the system, but inside it. Welcome to Dark Gilded Truth. Here, we peel back the gold leaf from history's most opulent empires to reveal the ruthless greed and hidden shadows that built them and broke them. I'm your guide through the archives. If the truth we uncover genuinely impresses you, subscribe and follow us. Toshihide Iguchi was not a criminal, at least, not in the beginning. In 1983, he was the model of corporate loyalty, an executive at Daiwa Bank's New York branch, trusted, precise, invisible, handling U.S. government bond trading, a role built on precision and trust. And for a decade, he was doing exactly what he was supposed to. Trades executed cleanly, books balanced perfectly. Everything looked normal. Until one day, it wasn't. A bad trade, a $70,000 bad, a moment of human error. To a billion-dollar bank, it was a rounding error, small enough to fix. At least, that's what Iguchi believed. Iguchi thought of it as an end because, in the rigid hierarchy of Japanese banking, failure isn't a lesson, it's an execution. So instead of reporting and confessing it, he hid it. Not to steal, not to get rich, but to survive and recover what was lost. And that's how the fall starts. One delay, the belief that you can fix it later. But the market doesn't wait. It is a cold god. It doesn't grant extensions. One adjustment after another. The 70,000 became 700,000, then 7 million, then 70 million. And with every loss, the price of telling the truth increased to a debt he could never pay. So he continued. 30,000 unauthorized trades, stacks of falsified documents. He wasn't just trading bonds anymore. He was trading reality for a version that kept the lights on. By day, he was the vice president, the respected pillar of the office. By night, he was a forger, adjusting records, moving positions, creating a version of reality that didn't exist. He was the player, the referee, and the scorekeeper. The bank didn't check him because they trusted the system. But the system was just him. And trust, without structure, is not trust. It's exposure. For 3,960 days, that is almost 11 years, no one questioned it. Not the bank, not the auditors, because everything looked perfect on paper. And when things look good on paper, people stop looking at the truth. All hidden, inside a system designed to prevent it. Until one day, it stopped. In July 1995, the weight became physical, because the fix never came. So Iguchi sat down and wrote a letter, a 30 pages long confession of devastating clarity, a clarifying confession that didn't just admit a crime, but it also exposed a decade of institutional blindness, 11 years of hidden losses, over $1 billion, evaporated, not stolen, just lost in the pursuit of appearing perfect. So the U.S. government didn't just fine the bank, they expelled it. That's how the Daiwa Bank, a century-old titan, was stripped of its license and cast out. Not because one man lied, but because the institution helped him keep the secret once they found out. At Dark Gilded Truth, we don't just tell history, we dissect the blueprints of the human soul. The system didn't fail because Iguchi was a genius. The system failed because it was built on a vacuum. Iguchi held the keys to both the front door and the back. The Daiwa scandal is a mirror for reflection. The most dangerous failures don't attack systems. They live inside them. Because when one person controls everything, they don't just manage risk, they become the risk. And this isn't just about banks. It's also the same about life. How often do we avoid small losses, hoping to fix them later? How many times do we delay truth because it's uncomfortable? And over time, small avoidance becomes irreversible damage. Because the longer reality is delayed, the more expensive it becomes. The Daiwa Bank didn't collapse because of one mistake. It collapsed because of a system that allowed silence to replace accountability. If no one asks questions, problems go unnoticed. Success leaves clues, but greed leaves scars. Subscribe to Dark Gilded Truth. Next, one of the biggest modern financial collapses, the digital house of cards. The FTX full autopsy.